my name is Corey Freed, and I'm the educational consultant here at Visual Sound. Today we're going to look at the differences between the Clevertouch and the Smart MX panels so we can see the built-in Android device and what the whiteboard is like for each of them. I'm currently using a Polycom Studio system for recording this, so you'll notice that the camera will actually follow me as I move around the room. It also has a microphone that will pick me up wherever I am standing, so it's a really nice device to have when you are teaching in the front of the classroom so that you don't have to stay stationary in the front of the room. We are going to start here on the Clevertouch board today. I started in the browser just because I wanted both boards to have something up on them, so the first thing we need to do is go to that home screen. We're going to click on the pen and select the home icon. Now that we're in the home screen on the Clevertouch panel, we have our menu options on both the left and the right of the board. This is really nice because whether you're a lefty or a righty, you have access to the menu that you need. So we're going to click on the whiteboard, and when it opens up, you're going to see it's going to be a nice white screen, and it has its tools down here at the bottom. The Clevertouch allows you to write with two colors, and the way it differentiates is from the size of the stylus. The tip of the stylus is thinner, whereas the back is more like an eraser. It's a little thicker. So if I was to write with the tip and then flip it around to write with the eraser side, you'll notice that I get two different colors. If I pick up my second stylus, I could write with the thin side and the thick side at the same time, which means I could have two students up at the board, or I could have one color set as a pen and the other color set as a highlighter. So there are a lot of different options you can do. Just to verify that, I'm going to put both tips on the board, and as you can see, I can have two colors going at once. If you were to use your hand as your pen, your hand is going to match that thicker side. So right now, I can write on my board with my hand, and it'll go with that thicker color, which was the purple. Some other nice things about the Clevertouch board, we're going to just come over here and hit the plus sign for a moment to get a plain blank slide. Now I'm going to come down on my menu and select that letter A, because that letter A is actually going to take my handwriting, and it is going to translate it into text. If the text is too small for your students to read, though, you click on the arrow to make it highlighted, and you can stretch it out. Don't worry if it looks a little blurry right now, because as soon as you click out of it, it does clear up. Those are some of the really nice features. You also do have math, so if you click the X plus Y, it's going to be able to translate that into a math problem for you. So it does do fractions and all of those type of things so that you can have that really neatly in a math class and your students can solve the problems, or at least give you that starting point when you're demonstrating how to solve problems. Moving along the tools, you have your eraser tool. You can use that eraser tool to just highlight things and erase them. If you need to erase things when you're just writing, though, you can take the palm of your hand. When it recognizes that bigger device, it's going to just erase it for you. Moving down, you also will have your shapes. You have to double click on it, but you'll see both 2D and 3D. So if you're teaching a math class again, I can come here and I can take a triangle and I can stretch that triangle out onto my screen. I can come back to the 3D shapes and I can get a pyramid. So the opportunities are endless for geometry classes and any other thing where you might need those shapes. If you need to move stuff around, you have your hand right here, and that's going to allow you to just take the whole board and move it around. This whiteboard is actually infinite, which means that I don't have to go to another page. I can just keep scrolling up. If I need to scroll it back down, I can scroll it back down. So you can continue writing on that same whiteboard without ever running out of space. For example, let's say that you're making a list. You have your students telling you their favorite ice cream flavors, and you're coming down the list, and you're coming down the list, but you run out of room. Well, just click on that hand, move it up, keep going. So that infinite board is going to come in nice and handy as you're doing different things that might require more space than the board physically has. If you want to change the background of your whiteboard, so let's go back to another blank slide for a moment. If I want to change the background, I come over here to the menu, and I'll see background as an option. Clevertouch gives you a ton of options to customize your background. You have solid color backgrounds, you have texture backgrounds. This is where you're going to find your line paper, music teachers, their staff paper, your basketball gym coaches, you have the basketball courts, lots of different things you can do. If these things aren't good for you, you can also customize your background by clicking custom and importing an image that you have on a different disk. When you're done with class and you want to save this whiteboard, there are a couple different options for you. The first option is the QR code, And what happens is it just produces a QR code. Scan that with a phone or iPad, any device really, and it's going to bring that file over for you or for your students. Really nice because at the end of class you can pull up that screen and your students can save a copy of the notes for themselves. Another option is in the menu. You have export, which allows you to create PDFs and image files, or you have cloud storage. If you want to connect your cloud, you can use Google Drive and OneDrive. The files will save right there in your cloud and you'll be able to access them from any mobile device. If your email address is logged into the board, there is also the option to send an email. So plenty of options for exporting these files when you're done with your class. Moving over to the Smart Panel, we're also again starting in the browser. So the first thing we need to do is go to that Android home device. So we're going to click here at the home option, and as you can see, the whiteboard is right here under favorites. When I go into my whiteboard on my Smart Panel, you'll again see it's just a white screen. This time the backgrounds are down here at the bottom. So you can select between your line paper, your primary line paper, graph paper, and a bunch of different options depending on what you need. When you're ready to start writing, you can come over here to the pen. There are two different ways to write on the Smart Panel. If you want to use your finger, there is a toggle switch right here with a finger that you would just turn on, and now my finger is my pen. If I want to pick up my stylus is also the pen. If I need to use my finger as the mouse, I first have to come back to the pen and turn off the finger inking, because otherwise my finger will remain as that pen when I start to move stuff. In the pen options, you'll see the thickness is 3 choices, and then you also have your default 7 colors. If those 7 colors aren't enough for you, what you can do is click on the bottom right one with 3 dots and you get your entire color wheel. So you are not actually limited to the colors that are showing there, it's just those are the most common colors used in class. Moving down, we have inserting an image. So to insert the image, you'll see it says add online content. So I would just click the start searching and I could type in anything I want and hit search. It is a Bing safe search, so it means that it is going to be, the algorithms are going to protect you from finding inappropriate things. So I pick on my smile and you're going to see it import right there to my board. I also have the option to import videos if I want. So there's lots of different things that you can bring onto that whiteboard. Now that I have the smile there, I can move it around. I can also resize it. So you can import and all of those type of things. Just like with the Clevertouch, if I want to resize my whole board, I can just touch it and you'll notice that it just moves up. If I need to pull that stuff down, I pull it back down. So it does have that infinite visual again. The next thing that the Smart Panel has is the widgets. When I come here into the widgets, you'll see I have clocks, dice, rulers, a bunch of different options. So if I was to click on the ruler, it would pop up on my screen. I can then drag the ruler. So let's say I want to see how big that smile is in centimeters. Well, this smile is 6.2 centimeters. Once I'm done measuring it, I can click on the ruler again and I can just turn it off. So the widgets are just really handy because they give you those extra tools. The next thing that the Smart Panel's whiteboard has is it's going to have some extra backgrounds for you. When you click on the plus sign to add new slides, you're going to see graphic organizers. It has everything from columns to Cornell notes. If I continue scrolling down, I will also find my Venn diagram, tables, tons of different options. So let's say that I want to create a table. I pick up my table and now I have it. I could then just write directly on this and keep going with my class, whatever we're doing. The other option when you click add a new page is your manipulatives. So I'm going to come up here and click on coins. I do want to just point out we also have euros. So if you are teaching about other countries in a geography class, you can actually do the same lesson with euros. We're going to go with the American coins though, and as you'll notice on the bottom of my screen, I now have copies of all the different coins. For this lesson, I want my students to tell me how to make change for 75 cents. So I ask my students to come up to the board, and you have that one kid that he sees 75 cents and he's going to just pull in 3/4 and be done. But then, you know, we always have that one jokester kid, and that kid is going to just end up doing 75 pennies. And they're going to just start dragging those pennies, and they're going to drag those pennies. And you know what? Let them drag all 75 pennies because they can drag 100, they can drag 1,000. This is an infinite cloner, which means that they will never run out of coins down there at the bottom of the manipulative. So really great, easy manipulative features for some of these lessons. You'll also, when you click the plus sign, see a shout out. Shout out is a great activity where the students can connect from their devices and they can answer questions and the answers will all pop up on the board. So this is a great functionality if you are one-to-one with devices because your students are able to just come right up here from their device, send things to the board without physically getting out of their seats to come up to the board. So lots of great stuff. So class is over and you want to know how you can send this whiteboard to your students. It's really easy. What you're going to do is you come up to the people icon and you'll see an option that says Start Sharing. When you click Start Sharing, it's going to direct your students to go to hellosmart.com and it'll give you a 6-digit code. Now that 6-digit code right now is my actual board. However, if you as the teacher are logged into the board, that 6-digit code will be your class code and it will always be the same for you. So you're not going to have to display this screen for your students every class. Once they have that 6-digit code, it'll be saved in their accounts as well. They log in with that 6-digit code and it will open up on hellosmart.com so they can either make a copy for themselves or take a screenshot, whatever's easiest for your students. Lots of different things that you can do for that sharing, so it's very easy to have those files. Thank you for joining us today while we compare the Clevertouch and the Smart Panels built-in whiteboards. We're going to do a few more of these comparison videos of different features that the boards have, so please feel free to ask any questions you have and we'll get back to you. Have a great day.